How critical should I be about dimensions and symmetry, like with my blocks, my pieces?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of variance from piece to piece. Not
Right.
major, but
Sure.
they are different. And
There is a threshold for sure.
I guess for a set, just to make one striker,
Yeah.
those two should be pretty similar, right?
They should be almost perfect.
Right.
Because the way that this cloth works, if you have a top plate that is too big compared to its bottom plate, when they try and collapse, this is going to fold at a different rate than this, and that's going to create tension as it tries to crush itself flat. Because it's not just one flat plane wrapping around one flat plane. It's one flat plane that now staggers into two planes, and that's asking a lot for the rubber to
So maybe
try and come
they need to
over.
be close, but not absolute precision.
Not precision. Don't go crazy.
No. I just wondered, like I wouldn't have a 1/4 inch bigger on one side or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
a 16th, we're gonna probably be all right.
I'd say maybe just a little bit better than a 16th
Oh.
if you can. The way that I actually do this, because it creates a perfect bond or a perfect sizing every time, is before I actually size or clean up the edges, I will assemble the whole pneumatic with the cloth hinge at the back. And then I will actually take that whole thing to the sander and then sand the sides perfectly flush, and then they are perfectly matched to each other. Does that make sense? Because then once they're
Sand them
attached by
together.
their hinge, yeah, you sand them together,
With
they're
the hinge.
perfectly aligned.
Do we have the hinge material?
Yes, you have quite a bit of it. I don't know what Nacho's done with it, but oh, right here. This is your
Oh,
hinge material.
That's one I hadn't thought to ask. Is that the inside only or outside
Inside
too?
only.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes to this, say this is your striker pneumatic, you do it just like this, where you fold it in an L shape and glue your two halves together like that.
Is that cotton?
This is cotton canvas. Yeah.
You glue them at the same time?
Yeah, you can glue them at the same time. Because often what I'll do is I'll put the glue just on the dart, and Nacho's done this.
So
But I'll do a small square, and I'll put the glue on the whole square, and then I will lay my two pieces flat, end to end, over the top, and then I will collapse it in on itself, and then I'll put a rubber band or a small spring clamp on the end, and then that presses the two sides and keeps the pneumatic
So
closed.
the two squares end to end, put a rectangle, glue the rectangle of canvas on it, and then before it, just immediately
Just
close it, clamp it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that keeps the hinge perfectly located, because since the two ends were butted up, the back ends are perfectly in line. Because you don't want to sand the hinge end after it's done, because you might sand the hinge
Yeah.
Right.
and separate the two halves again. So that end will be perfect, but then once it's closed and dry, you can then take that whole unit to the sander, and you can clean up all the sides, and then you'll have a perfect match for your top and bottom lids
So
every time.
does this run around the front end of the hinge?
Yes.
Outside of the hinge?
So that actually, in contrast to these material, to these pieces in the piano, this actually runs all the way around the outside.
Okay.
And Nacho can show you this too, but
Well, just like
like
the
this.
originals.
Here we go. So we've got this material. You start basically in a little bit, and then you run all the way around, and then you'll come all the way back up, and you'll overlap, and you'll just glue it down like that.
But no tack.
But no tacks. No tacks. On these smaller pneumatics, they don't need that kind of mechanical reinforcement, just because they are working less. Like, their whole purpose is just to collapse and, strike a piano pneumatic. This is being wrenched open by the pedals, so it's being pulled, just as fast as you can pedal. So this thing is being so much more abused than these things are.
And no darts.
And no darts on these or any of the strikers.
Right.
So this is all it is. It's just wrapping all the way around the outside. And no darts, because you have the full plate thickness all the way around that you can glue to. So that's that reason.
I don't know that you can really